What's up, A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live. Delayed by an hour here on this Christmas Eve Saturday. The Titans are getting set to host the Houston Texans. Kickoff at 1:02 p.m. Central Time at Nissan Stadium after Mayor John Cooper asked and was granted a delay of the game today. Originally scheduled for noon kickoff, but the Titans and Texans are 30 minutes away from kickoff right there in Nashville, where temperatures are currently around 15 degrees. Going to warm up a little bit maybe before kickoff, but we're going to have a great pregame show here live on this A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live pregame show presented by Buddy Allen Carpet One. A lot of things have happened this morning, including the delay of the game, an update on Ryan Tannehill, a lot of injuries and illness there on the Titans offensive line and the rest of the roster. And so Zach and I will break that down and discuss Malik Willis as he has an opportunity to sweep the Texans in this second game of the season between the two AFC South rivals. Before we officially dive into this, this is the Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show for Titan Game Day Live. Buddy Allen Carpet One always gives you free in-home measures and estimates at Buddy Allen Carpet One Nashville.com. Thank you to all of our other Titan Game Day Live sponsors throughout the season. Mr. Goodroof, head to MrGoodroof.com and have a free estimate. Then mention A to Z Sports for a $500 discount on a full roof replacement. BARTON Insurance Group, Middle Tennessee's premier insurance provider for both personal, home, and auto coverage, plus small to mid-sized businesses at BartonInsuranceGroupLLC.com. Crumble cookies made fresh every day. It's cold outside, but it's great, nice, warm, and smells awesome inside the nearest Crumble cookies to you. Download the app today. And BetMGM, download the BetMGM app. Use our code ATOZ Sports for a risk-free bet up to $1,000 on pro football. Zach, it has been a very, very busy start to game day for the Tennessee Titans, and we'll start with this morning. Mayor John Cooper did ask the Tennessee Titans to delay the game or postpone the game due to the rolling blackouts that were needed for Nashville's power grid. And I don't know about everybody else watching the show, but I've lost power on and off about 4 or 5 times throughout this Saturday. And so John Cooper asking for that on Twitter. The Titans, the NFL, the mayor's office, and the city came together and delayed the game by 1 hour. So Zach, any comments on that of what Mayor John Cooper asked, and the Titans, as it's 15 degrees in Nashville right now, delaying this game for an hour? Who knows what impact that can have, but the Titans wanted to make sure that they could cooperate with what the city needs for all of its citizens and people that have real needs around the city.
Well, as a Nashville native, we all know that when weather comes in, everybody freaks out and doesn't really know how to handle it all the time. And Nashville not necessarily prepared for these type of weather or this type of weather because it doesn't happen that often, right? So They're trying to adjust. And I also think it's an opportunity for Mayor Cooper to get more money out of the taxpayers to create a new infrastructure. That's my personal opinion. And at the end of the day, the Nissan Stadium is government owned. So they got to kind of do what the government says. So they pushed it back an hour. Look, it won't do anything, I don't think, any harm in the sense of things. They've got to protect the community. That is the first and foremost.
Sure.
That's the justification. And if they do that with the rolling blackouts that we've seen over the last 24 to 48 hours, look, shout out to my future in-laws. I'm actually in Memphis that I drove yesterday. Power went out in Memphis earlier this morning. So they were doing the same type of thing. So I think it's more of an infrastructure of Tennessee not being used to these type of temps. They'll figure it out. It will get probably a little bit warmer, but not by much. The players will play and the game will move on.
Yeah, I also do want to mention this because I saw several Titans media members tweet this out from Nissan Stadium, that the lights were on last night at Nissan Stadium due to water pipes bursting and the crews needing throughout tonight to work to replace that. So that's why a lot of people noticed that Nissan Stadium looked like it was on throughout the night last night. But more news, Zach,
what happens though, right before you buy a new house, something goes wrong, right? They're about to buy a new house, and so they got to kind of fix it. It never works out the way that you want. You always got to buy that air conditioning unit or something before once you're going to try to sell it and buy a new house. So It works the same thing for billion-dollar infrastructures as well.
That's
so
right.
that kind of makes, I think, us all feel a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, so that happened, but they got that underway, and according to people at the stadium, the grounds crew's done a good job of getting this field ready to go as well. But another update on Ryan Tannehill from this morning. This was reported Friday throughout the day that Ryan Tannehill went down to Alabama through the back roads and super secret surgery that he had on his ankle injury. But Ryan Tannehill, update from Adam Schefter, underwent surgery on his high ankle sprain this week and will not play again during this regular season, and is considered unlikely that Tannehill will be able to return this postseason per a league source. And we know Paul Kaharski did report that a couple of days ago that Tannehill was very likely to be done for the season with his ankle injury, and Adam Schefter there confirming the surgery on Friday and then adding to it that unlikely to return for the rest of the season. So, Zach, it's officially the Malik Willis show today as number 7 makes his 3rd start of his rookie year and his 2nd against the Houston Texans in a big opportunity over 3 games for Malik Willis to get ready for a potential Week 18 matchup against the Jags. A win and you're in the playoffs for maybe another opportunity for Malik Willis to play quarterback in the NFL. This is a big matchup for Malik Willis long-term to get some good things done offensively for the Titans against the Texans today.
Well, in the great words of Pitbull, there are no problems, there are only solutions. Malik Willis better find some solutions today. He better find his wide receivers downfield. Todd Downing, probably need to say a little prayer for Downing to draw up a good game plan, which is hit or miss, mostly miss, for this young quarterback. But look, Ryan Tannehill, as we've kind of found out, not the answer to go win a Super Bowl for this franchise. They're more tearing down than adding on to what this is. And this gives the young rookie an opportunity to prove a lot of people why he was drafted. Now, he fell in the draft. He was supposed to be drafted in the first round as the first quarterback in this past year's draft. That ended up being Kenny Pickett for the Steelers. He dropped, and the Titans got value. Now, this is not throwing a young rookie quarterback in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. This is at the end of the season. He's had time to figure out how to be a professional. He's learned behind Ryan Tannehill, who is a great professional and has been in this league for quite some time. He's got to figure it out today, and he's got to figure it out based on throwing the football, making his reads with the read option, which I assume that they will do. But this is full-fledged game plan going forward for the next several games. As Adam Schefter reported, if Ryan Tannehill had surgery, he's not coming back in the next couple of weeks. Now, and this is what I said on yesterday's show, Austin, you're playing with house money. When I play with house money at the casino, I usually win. When I'm going in there a little nervous, not wanting to lose that $500, I usually lose the $500. Now the Titans offense can really lean in. Look, they're going to have to beat Jacksonville here in 3 weeks. So it really doesn't matter about the Texans and the Cowboys. This is about getting your young rookie quarterback comfortable, making the right throws, and trying to create some momentum and create points and steal a win.
All right, so let's get it going on this pregame show presented by Buddy Allen Carpet One and ask this question. What's the single most important thing for the Titans going into this game versus the Texans? What is the single most important thing for the Titans going into this game against the Texans? We know it's frozen at Nissan Stadium, and Malik Willis is the starting quarterback today and moving forward with the update to Ryan Tannehill. So we'll read your comments here. What is the single most important thing for the Titans going into this game against the Texans? But this is the Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show. Buddy Allen Carpet One always gives you free in-home measures and estimates for all of your flooring needs. And Buddy Allen Carpet One is locally owned and operated by the Allen family, and it has been for now over 55 years. You can always see Zach, Jenna, and Judson Allen in the store every day, and they give you a full service flooring company experience, which means you save money, not the opposite. So they've got certified installers that are professional and experienced when it comes to installing your flooring, plus an incredible product with Buddy Allen Carpet One. It's the best of both worlds and guaranteed work from Buddy Allen Carpet One for any of your flooring needs. Check them out, Buddy Allen Carpet One Nashville.com. Zach, I'll send you to the comment section. What is the single most important thing for the Titans going into this game against the Houston Texans, considering all of the circumstances we've laid out?
Well, and I expected this, and that was the first comment that we got from Fam Squad: protect the football.
Yeah.
You can't turn the football over against lesser opponents. They did that against Jacksonville, and they lost, handily towards the end of that game because they weren't protecting the football. No more injuries from Big Ten Jeff, ability to run the football effectively from our guy Donald, having Henry on the field on third down, which has been a topic,
talking point.
This week that Mike Vrabel has touched on.
Yeah.
So where's Henry going to be on third down? As I don't know if you saw his pregame outfit, the North Face Gucci. I didn't know that they collabed.
I thought he looked like that was his tractorcito plus the snowplow outfit as well.
Well, he is. He's been plowing the Texans for years now. So maybe today he's going to get
he'll take the Texans for another ride on his big green tractor, right?
Right there. Oh, there's a little Jason Aldean reference right there, my man. He's been listening to too much Florida Georgia Line there. Over there in Nashville. Consistency on offense from Dylon, running the football from Jake, win and don't get hurt, run and tight end play from Jody. I mean, that has been the recipe on offense, whether it's Chig and Derrick Henry converting third downs and getting off the field on third down from Robert. Steve says, get Willis working on the RPO, that run pass option that you expect. That's the style that he plays. And I think that also can keep the Texans on their toes. Don says no turnovers. King Henry from Kedrick. Let's see. Rodney says offensive line. Austin, where are you at on this question?
I think everybody who says, like somebody said, just come out of the game alive, right? Because we've talked about this, that, you have to win in week 18 in one way or another to make the playoffs. So you have to be able to get to that game alive in some form. But I'm going to talk about, for this specific game, Zach, I think what the Titans have to do is not shoot themselves in the foot with offensive line penalties. And that's going to be a lot harder said than
protection?
Done. Well, it's a lot of things. And the offensive line, the patchwork group that is expected to play for the offensive line, left tackle Dennis Daly, left guard Aaron Brewer's going. Those guys both missed practice time this past week due to injury. Corey Levin is making his second start of his career in general at center, his first start being the London game in 2018. That right guard is Jordan Ruse, also making his first career start, and NPF is the right tackle. So how can you continue to run? If you're going to run the football with Derrick Henry, you cannot have holding penalties. You cannot have illegal chop block penalties. You can't have anything like that ruins opportunity. And then you have to be able to protect Malik Willis and not get this offense in 1st and 20 situations or 2nd and 15 situations. You have to play clean when it comes to penalties on the offensive line, because this O-line cannot overcome a 2nd or 3rd and beyond 8. It's just, you have to stay ahead of the sticks, and the fastest way to get behind is by penalties on the offensive line. So that's my answer.
So I think that's smart. I think that's correct. And I think the chat is correct, right? You've said all the right things. Don't turn the football over. Run the football with Derrick Henry, because it's the easiest and most efficient thing that your offense can do. But I do think that the X factor in this game, honestly, Austin, I think it is going to be Malik Willis being able to make plays with his legs. And that is because they cannot protect up front. He's going to be running for his life. Now, he may not be running for his life every pass play, but I think Todd Downing, this is what I expect from Todd Downing. I think that they are going to simplify things, and they are going to dumb down this offense just like they did at Houston. Unless they get behind, right? You're going to have to throw the script out if they get behind. And Malik Willis making plays with his legs. I was going to ask you, what is the over-under rushing yards on BetMGM for Malik Willis? If you could check on that for me.
Yeah.
I think that is a very intriguing bet to me, because I do think that when things break down, Malik Willis is going to rely on what he knows, and that is running away from defenders. Doesn't always work because you're playing against NFL players, grown men, not you're not playing at Liberty anymore, but rushing yards for Malik, I think that's going to get them downfield at points in this game.
Yeah. So BetMGM currently has Malik Willis rushing yards over under set at 33.5, with over being the slight favorite with minus 120 on it.
I like
so
that
that's
bet.
33.5 right there. So Derrick Henry is 111.5. And
I think that's a little too high. That's too high, too expensive for my blood, because Derrick Henry
at a minus 130 too for Derrick Henry over 111.5 minus 1.
Right. And I don't know how this game is going to go. I don't know if I can go all the way back up. It was a very, very early comment, man. Scroll. When we first started the show, Titans Kyle, I found it. Why does today feel weird? Just don't have any energy feeling at all. And maybe that's just personally Titans Kyle.
The rolling blackouts have been sucking everybody's energy out.
There's a delay. And look, it's a meaningless game, kind of. It's not completely meaningless. We went over that earlier this week. But I do think there is something to kind of the uniqueness, weirdness of the game. First time we found out that Ryan Tannehill had surgery. I mean, like, Malik Willis is going to be the guy. Can he come in against a bad Texans team who has been playing the last 2 weeks? The Texans have scored 24 and 23 points. That's not what the Titans average, right? I mean, if you look the last 2 weeks, the Titans have scored 22 and 14. So it's weird to say this, but can the Titans offense keep up with the Texans scoring offense? That could be something.
It could be. Yeah. And it does feel weird. I agree with that. And especially if, hopefully there's some other weird things happening around the NFL too, like the Bears fighting with the Bills pretty tough, as well as the Panthers whooping up on the Lions there too. So, all right, let's go ahead and get to this here on this Titan pregame show presented by Buddy Allen Carpet One. We're about 14 minutes away from the delayed kickoff at Nissan Stadium between the Titans and the Texans. This, Zach, might be the hardest question that we've had on a pregame show all season. Who's got the good matchup today for the Titans? Like, today's matchup might be the hardest we've had all year long. Who's got the good matchup today for the Titans against the Texans, presented by MrGoodroof.com. They specialize in your roofing, gutter, windows, needs, and more. Fully insured, licensed, and bonded, locally owned in the Middle Tennessee area for over 20 years. That is Mr. Goodroof. Head to MrGoodroof.com. Have a free estimate, because, look, it's the right time that you need to go check your roof out after we get through all this ice and ridiculous tundra cold. You need to have Mr. Goodroof come to your home for free, check out your roof. If you don't need anything done, no sweat. You're good. They came out for free and checked it out, and you create a good relationship with Mr. Goodroof. If you do need something done, you can mention A to Z Sports, and they'll give you a $500 discount on a full roof replacement. That's with MrGoodroof.com. Storms happen. We know that. We're going through it right now here, especially in Middle Tennessee, of all seasons and all different types. So you need someone you can trust. So build that relationship right now. MrGoodroof.com. A free estimate. Then you mention A to Z Sports for $500 discount on a full roof replacement at MrGoodroof.com. Who's got the goods? Who's got the good matchup? Zach, I mean, is there an obvious one? I mean, normally there's an obvious. Like, you could say Derrick Henry's got a good matchup because he's playing the Texans, and the Texans have allowed Derrick Henry to go over 200 yards rushing 4 consecutive games. But now you've got a lot of different new starters on an offensive line that's not that great.
Yeah, it's not the same guys blocking for that 200-yard rush.
Yeah, and typically I see somebody right here. Noah says Austin Hooper. I've been making money at BetMGM with Austin Hooper overs. There's not even receiving props listed besides Derrick Henry on BetMGM. Again, like, that's how strange.
Look, the sports books are feeling this game's weird.
Yeah, I mean, receiving props, right? I'm at BetMGM. Receiving props on the board for the Titans. Derrick Henry over 11.5. Robert Woods over 21.5. That's it. Like, there's no other receiving props on the board. No Burks, no Chig, no Hooper, no NWI, nobody else. That's it. So it's a really strange game for a matchup. So I think my answer for who's got the good matchup today, Danico Autry being back. Danico Autry
I'm
being
glad because I saw Pastor Raymond. I was like, I wasn't going to I didn't know what you were going to say. I
yeah.
think that's it. I think you're right.
Yeah, Danico being back with Big Jeff, because you talked about it a few minutes ago, is can the Titans keep up with the Texans offensively? Well, if Big Jeff and Danico Autry can go back and be those bash bros from the Mighty Ducks and just wreck the offensive line from the Texans and get after the dual quarterback system the Texans have been using pretty well over the last few weeks, I think that is where the Titans really have to take control of this game, because in the first matchup between the two teams, the Texans offense did diddly poo until a meaningless late fourth quarter drive to make it a 17-10 game. Before that, they had like 60 yards of total offense in the first 57 minutes of the game. So I think that's a big deal. Getting Danico Autry back. Max asked, is Burks playing? Yes, Traylon Burks is playing as well. But Danico Autry's got the good matchup being back out there.
I can't emphasize this enough, and the chat recognized it early on in the show. They have got to stay healthy. Yeah. They cannot continue to accrue injuries. Danico can't have a Bud Dupree situation where he goes out and re-injures what he had earlier, right? Jeffrey Simmons has to stabilize that ankle that was messing with him earlier in the year. They can't afford to lose any guys against a one-win Texans team. If they lose the game, it doesn't necessarily impact the full trajectory of what their season is going to be. Their season is going to come down to the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 18 in Duval County. And so I'm not saying play scared. I'm not saying don't try, but be cautious. This is a cold-ass game.
Yeah.
Hitting, that's not going to be fun, right? And the bones tense up in this type of weather. I cannot stress that enough. I agree with you in your matchup of who has the goods. I do think that that's probably the best way and a best approach to look at this is you got to go with your two best defensive guys. One's back, rush the passer, and force punts, right? I mean, you're trying to force punts on the Texans so you can control the clock, get in, get out, get on with life, and move on towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and so the inactives today, I agree. This is a get in and get out as fast as you possibly can type of game. Inactives today, we talked about Ryan Tannehill off the top with Adam Schefter's updated report that he did have ankle surgery. That tightrope surgery is what's been talked about that Tua had a few years ago. Also, Cedric Tillman, the Vols receiver, had it earlier this season as well. But the tightrope surgery in Alabama, Tannehill had that earlier in the week. He is inactive, obviously. Amani Hooker, Christian Fulton missing games again when it comes to the secondary. Dylan Cole is out as well as Josh Thompson. Those guys both dealt with injuries last week against the Chargers. And the two healthy scratches are defensive end Mario Edwards, who's played good football, and cornerback John Reed. So it'll be interesting to see how the Titans roster can hold up today. But let's go ahead and get to it, Zach, because we're about 8 minutes away.
Well, wait here. I want to pause because we have a little bit of time before we usually predict. I want to correct something. MB says if the Titans win today and the Jags lose next week, the Titans clinch. That is incorrect. That is fundamentally wrong.
Yes.
It's going to come down to Week 18 because the Jags beat the Titans a couple of weeks ago. That would mean the Jags would have the tiebreak if they do, in fact, win in Week 18 to punch the Titans out of the playoffs because they wouldn't win the AFC South. I want to do this now before predictions, Austin, because we got 3 games with Malik Willis, right? We got at home against the Texans, at home against the Cowboys, and at Jacksonville. How much is this a tryout for Malik Willis and this franchise to find out if he can be the future? Or is this just a rookie quarterback coming into a tight spot late in the season to try to get them to the playoffs because their starter is no longer available?
It's a massive tryout. Does the scoreboard result over the next 3 weeks tell you the result of the tryout? No, not necessarily. Because Malik Willis could play and show some really good signs of things, and the Titans still missed the playoffs because of other reasons. the Titans could make the playoffs because Derrick Henry runs for 550 yards over the next 3 weeks and Malik Willis throws for 150 over the next 3 weeks. And that doesn't tell you anything about the future, right? So it is a tryout, but we don't know what the result or if there will be a result that we learn. And so it's just something that we have to really eyeball test this. It's not based off of the scoreboard. It cannot be a box score tryout. It is an eye test tryout and an opportunity to see game 1, game 2, game 3. 3 games back to back to back to see how Malik Willis handles the adversity, handles his progression, handles his ability to grow from 1 week to the next week to the next week in a high pressure situation.
I agree with you. I'll add to this.
Okay.
The next 3 games is going to come down to playmaking ability, passing accuracy, and how he handles the pass rush. He's not going to have a great offensive line, but how you handle an NFL pass rush when you don't have a good offensive line will tell us a lot if, in fact, one day you do. So he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt because these players are not great players. I mean, Dennis Daly's not a great left tackle. He's not even probably a good left tackle. But can you be accurate passing the football? Can you make plays in the game? And when pressure is upon you, can you at least escape it and get a first down or extend the play? Or are you going to be crunch city like we've seen Ryan Tannehill over the last couple of weeks?
Can you escape it and make the right play, which might be throwing the ball away?
Right. Those are also key things that we have to learn. Do you make the intelligent, mature play instead of the rookie play in which that's the year that you are?
Yep, exactly. All right, let's get to it. We are 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes away from kickoff at Nissan Stadium. Again, the 1 hour delay due to the rolling blackouts and power grid issues with Nashville over the last 2 days with the unprecedented frigid cold. Let's go ahead and get to our predictions. The Titans are currently at BetMGM. When I last, right before the pregame show began, a 3.5 point favorite hosting the Houston Texans. It is still Titans minus 3.5 right now. You can download the BetMGM app, use our code ATOZ Sports. When you do that, you make your first deposit and your first bet on pro football is risk-free up to $1,000. You should absolutely jump on the BetMGM train, just like Zach and I have done. It's been a lot of fun. Got some bets out there for today's Titans game and around the NFL as well. So download the app today. Use our code ATOZ Sports. Risk-free bet on pro football up to $1,000. Zach, what's the chat saying on this prediction so far to wrap up this Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show?
Billy says 20-10 Titans. Let's see. Titans win by 9 or win by 9-13. I don't know what that means, Shane.
9-13. Maybe Shane at bet you because there is a margin of victory prop you can throw in there, and 9-13 could be where Shane's got his money.
The unique score. It wouldn't be a surprising score, to be honest.
No, 9, but the winning margin is between 9 and 13 points, not the score. Not the scoreboard.
I could also see it be 9-13.
Yeah, that's what 5 field goals and a touchdown, or 2 touchdowns.
My prediction is going to be something like that. I'll just tell you that.
Safety mixed in there.
21-13 from Guy. Texans by 10 from Jay. 17-10. Max says 13-9 Texans. There we go. Now we're talking. Dylon says 17-10. 21-17 from Ruben. Texans 30, Titans 28. That's a high-scoring affair in a cold game. Austin, here's my prediction. I think it's going to be 20-16 Titans. They cover the 3.5 point spread by 0.5 point. They win by 4. I do think that the Titans are a better team. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans have a letdown. And Malik Willis doesn't play outstanding, but he plays adequate enough. I think that's going to be my prediction for his first of his next 3 starts to end the season. I think that's where I'm at. Malik Willis has over 35 rushing, 40 rushing yards. I think that's where he is, but he plays good enough for the Titans to win 20-16.
I think the Titans win. I do. I was going to say 17-13. I think you've got a little bit too many points in there, but 17-13 is my final score. The Titans win. We have to remember this. The Texans are playing for something. They're playing for that number 1 overall pick. The Texans don't necessarily want to win this game,
No.
right? And so I think that is an aspect to it. The Titans do want to win this game. The Texans as a whole do not. So I do think the Titans win. Take the under. 17-13 is my official prediction on this Titans-Texans game that's about to start here in a minute and a half.
Yeah, and I think the Titans, they need to win for other reasons, right? They don't really need to win. They need to win for their morale. They need to win for their confidence to go into prime time when the Dallas Cowboys come into town on Thursday night. So that's they need to win in a different way.
No doubt. A to Z Sports. This has been the Buddy Allen Carpet One pregame show. Visit Buddy Allen Carpet One, Nashville.com. You always get a free in-home measures and estimates with Buddy Allen Carpet One. Also, thanks to our other Titan Game Day Live sponsors, including Mr. Goodroof. Head to MrGoodroof.com to have a free estimate on your roof. Then mention A to Z Sports for a $500 discount on a full roof replacement. Barton Insurance Group, Middle Tennessee's premier insurance provider for both personal, home, and auto, plus small to mid-sized businesses. Barton Insurance Group, LLC.com. 2 apps you need to download. Crumble Cookies. Hey, you still have time. That last second gift you need. Crumble Cookie gift card can put you over the top. And of course, BetMGM. Download the app. Use our code ATOZ Sports. Risk-free bet up to $1,000. We will be back here for the halftime show. Enjoy the first half of the game. See you here in about an hour and a half. Appreciate it as always.